Okay guys, so welcome to another exciting video from Pycoders Academy Python course with me Faisal from Pycoders Academy. Okay, so in our previous video or in our previous project, we were looking at how to create a program for the supermarket where we learned about how to accept customer input and do all sorts of calculations and so on. Okay, so today we'll be looking at a very complex project but a very short one. So it's just creating a game which guesses letters or guesses, let's say, missing letters in words given in your database. Okay, so that's what we will be doing in this video. Okay, so like we started with the intro to this project, and we will look at how we can go on with this project. So simple. First, what we have to know is just get the words that is needed. So we have to create a database for these words. So something like a container containing your words. Then we will randomly pick a word. So for each player or for each moment, we will take a specific word. Then we will just interchange the characters inside it. Then we will just we just ask for the input. So that's what we'll be doing. So let's look at the features. So what we will be doing is so simple. So features. So the first will be that we will be selecting a specific word, then selecting specific, okay, let me see, selecting specific characters, then asking for guesses. So simple. Okay, so these are the features we'll be looking at. So selecting a word, selecting specific characters, and asking for guesses. That's so simple. So we start with the selecting a word. Okay, so we are done with the features. We move on to the first feature, which is selecting a word. Okay, so in this project we'll be using a class. So we will be containing every code we have in a class. Okay, so in that class we will have methods which are the features. So the selecting a word will be a method inside the class, or it will be a function inside the class. Okay, so that's what we are saying. Okay, so first we just create a class here. So let's say something called class. Then I will say main game. Okay, and column. So simple. Now I'll define my selecting word. So let's say select word. Okay, so simple. Now I'm done. Okay, so here is my method, my first method. Okay, so this is the select word method. So what we will do now is just select our word. So how will we select our word? We just create a database for our words. So we just do something like, let's say our words will be I've already declared some words here. This, so I'll copy this, copy, and I'll paste it here, Control V. So simple. Okay, so I have these words. So I have flour, cake, expert, hero, honey, hang, palace, and so on. Okay, so these are my words which are in a list form, and I have to pick randomly anyone at each moment or at each specific time. So how will I do it? So I just import the random model. Okay, so I just do import. Okay, so just from, if you remember, we used this when we were doing models. So from random, import system random. So the reason why we are using the system random is that the system random actually randomize it, so it prevents any let's say loose end randomizing. When you use the random method or random method from the random model, it's not very efficient. But when you use the system random, it means your system is randomizing it's by itself. Okay, so now we just create an object of the system random. So randomize, let's say randomize is equal to system random. So this is an object. Okay, so this is an object. Now what we will do next is we have to just uh, let's say get the length of this, so the length of this list. Now after getting the length of this list, then we randomize the numbers between that range from 0 to the length of that list, so that we can get any number, then we collect that number. Okay, so what we are saying is that we say choice, let me see, choice is equal to, then I will say randomize rand int. Okay, now 0 to the length of weight. Okay, so we are saying collect any number between 0 to the length of the weight. So simple. Now after getting it, we just, okay, so let's say print weight, print weight, then at choice. So simple. And we are done. Now let's call this, let me create an object here. So share is equal to class main game. Now I'll just do return, print obj dot main game. Should be select word rather. So let me run this code and see. Okay, so I'm printing an old code. Okay, so let me run this code. Okay, so I'm getting racist. Okay, coming. Okay, so we are in the right. Okay, so here should be lane -1, since in range it collects the last number instead of the total. So this is the palace. So you can see we have palace here. So it is getting any random number. Let's print another one. Grave, any random word. Cake, any random word. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. So selecting a word. So we are done with the selecting of the word. Okay, so we move on to selecting specific characters in the word. Okay, so we have looked at the first feature, which is selecting a word, any word which is like random. So we got an output like the word and none, and we know why we are getting none here, because we are using the print function here. So we have to change it to the return function. Okay, so return then the word choice. Okay, so let's try and run this code. Okay, so you can see we are getting only hero, then the none has vanished. Okay, so when you use the print, you are getting the word and the none, but when you use the return, you are getting the word itself. Okay, so we move on to the second feature, which is selecting the specific characters. Okay, so to select the specific characters, we just let's say create a sample of any letter inside that word. Okay, so what we will do here is that we will create, okay, so we will be creating a new function to select specific character. So select specific cars. Okay, so this function would take the self parameter and the word also. Okay, so we have this word also. So but the word here I will just replace here by making it pick. So pick is equal to, then I'll pass the pick here. So let's say it will accept pick. So we will call this function here to pass the pick inside that function. So we just do main, which is the, so here should be return. Okay, so return main game dot, then you say select specific class. Okay, then we pass the pick and the word also. So word. Okay, so now this should be the pick. So that's the word we are passing. So it should be, yeah, so that's all. So main dot select specific class pick. Okay, parameter on field. Okay, here should be self comma pick. Okay, we are done. So now we have to select any word or any character inside the word we are getting. Okay, so let's say we have a word like hero. Here we have 4 characters here, but we want to make the word, we want to create some missing uh, characters inside that word. So how will we do it? So we have to know the length of that word, and we know like the amount of empty spaces we can create. So we have a 4-letter word here. We can just create one to make it convenient. So one empty space, so something like h then space ro. So let me write it here. So we have h space, then we say ro to make it convenient. So here should be like guessed easily, but when you create 2 spaces, okay, that one will also be convenient, but it depends on you. Okay, so here we will start with here let me see the lowest number of let's say words. Okay, so I can see 4. Okay, so here we will start with 4. Okay, so let's see, let me create a variable pick letter is equal to, then I'll make it empty. So here, okay, so here should be empty here. Okay, so this is just an empty variable we are creating. Then I will say I will sample, let's say for if, let me see, if len of pick is equal to, let's say 4, then we should sample only 2, or like we should sample 2 or 1 letters. Okay, so we just do let's say number, or first, let's say letters is equal to, or letters pick letter is equal to let's say randomize dot sample. Okay, so we are sampling just 2 letters from the word. Okay, so we just do, so the word is pick, so that is the parameter coming. So pick, then we write just 2. Okay, so now we are done. So let me just return it for you to see. So return pick letter. Okay, so now let's try and run this code again and see. Okay, I'm getting none. Why? Okay, because the reason why is like maybe the word we are getting isn't hero. So first let me return this here. So return pick. Okay, let me do it print rather. So print. Okay, or let me do it on the same line. Okay, so comma, then I will say pick. Okay, so let's run this code. Okay, so none in thief, and we know thief is not a 4-letter word, so let's go again. Okay, again, 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 again. Oh, it's taking like forever. Okay, so let's do it a 5-letter word here. Okay, so for you to see it. Okay, 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 okay. So you can see we are getting two letters here, so which are the A and I. So we are just sampling two letters from the word alive. So as we have here, so from the word alive we are taking only two letters, which are A and I. So simple. So now we are getting our letters. So what we have to do is, when if lane pick is equal to 5 or is equal to 4, we just sample 2, or okay, so I'll say pk1. Okay, so just sample 2, or sample, let's say pk1 is equal to randomize dot sample, and I'll say pick 1. Okay, so here we have two variables here. So first we are picking two samples, and second we are also picking one sample. Okay, so to make it very random, we need to just give it out. So let's say uh, we can create a random parameter here. So I will say number random guess random select, then I will say is equal to randomize dot randint, then I will say from 0 to, let's say, 1. Okay, so from 0 to 1, we know, let's say we will represent this as 0 and represent this as 1. So when this gives us 0, we should bring this out, and when this gives us 1, we should get this one. Okay, so if random select is equal to, let's see, let me change this to 1 and 2 here. So 1, 2. Okay, so if random select is equal to 0, so you just do pink letter is equal to, say, sorry, is equal to pick letter 1, else pick letter 2. So simple. So when like the random number is 0, we just pick, okay, sorry, this should be pick letter is equal to pick letter 2. Okay, so when the random number is 0, it picks the pick letter 1, this one, so it will sample 2, but when it is 1, it will sample only 1. Okay, so simple. So now we are done here. So let me run this code and see. Okay, so we can just remove this out here. Okay, so let's run this code and see. Okay, alive is none. Okay, since it's a 4 character we have used there, so grave. Okay, I'm looking for hero. Okay, 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 so I'll just put 5 here to make it simple. So 5. Okay, so you are getting I and A alive here. Let's go again. Poison. Okay, so here is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you can see here we are getting only one letter, but in the alive we were getting two letters, which shows that when like this was running, the random select here was the number here was 1. So when the number here is 1, we just pick the letter 2, which is only one sample. That's what we are saying. Okay, so we have select a character here, so we will do some for 4, 5, 6 and so on. So we just do, so let me copy this code here. So Control C, let's copy this code. So Control V. So here should be Elif, then here should be 5. So when we have a 5 word character, like something like let's say 2, 4, something like honey, like this. So honey, so we can create, let's say 3, 2 and 1 space. Okay, so we will start with 3. So let me see 3. Okay, so 2 spaces. So I won't use 3 spaces, I will use 2 spaces rather. Okay, so here should be let me see, since here is the same thing, because the highest is 2 samples, we just use it the same thing as here. So if len pick is equal to 4 and or len pick is equal to 5, okay, then you run that code. Okay, so simple. So here should be 6 rather. Then let me see the number of spaces we can get. So let's say palace. Okay, so there's convenience palace. Okay, so we start from 3. So 3. So if, okay, so here should be pick letter 3. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here should be 3. Then here should be 3. Then here should be 2. Okay, since here has become 3, so 0, 1, 2, so it is 3 letters we want. So here should be, if random is equal to 0, then elif random select equals, let's say 1. Just do this else pick character is equal to letter 3. Okay, so simple. Okay, so when it's 6, so let me see the longest word here. I think it's girlfriend. 2, 4, 6, 7, 2. The longest here is the girlfriend word here. So that word is a 10-letter word. Okay, so that's what will be our last let's say last condition here. So here we can just simplify it by just removing this conditional statement. So instead of just writing these numbers, we can just bring this here. So let me cut this. You can just bring this to the top here. Then I will just replace this with random select. Okay, now we just remove all this. So simple. Okay, so here should be pick letter here. Sorry, pick letter. Okay, now next will be the same for this one. So we just do, so this should come here. Okay, now just remove only one here. Then here should be random select. Okay, now here should be pick letter. Then we want to return it. So okay, now we clear all this here. Okay, so we do the same for 7 and 8. Okay, so let's say okay, here should be 7 and 8. Okay, here let's say it should be 3. Okay, so simple. Now move on to elif. Okay, so here should be 9. So here should be 9. Then here should be 4. Then the last will be 10, sorry. So 10. So 10 here. Okay, now we just do 5. Okay, so simple. Now let's run this code and see. Okay, so Hank has no element. Let me see. So Hank is a 4-letter word. Okay, so I don't know. Is it pick letter random dots? Okay. So here should not be 0 here. Should not be 0 because it should start with 1, then end with, let's say, 2. Okay, here should also start with 1, end with 3. Okay, here should start with 1 and end with 4. Here should start with 1 and end with 5. Here should start with 1 and end with 6. Okay, so simple. Now let's run this code. Okay, so we are getting it now. So we have OEM, so 3 letters from the monster word. Move on to next one. Grave, we are getting only 1. We are getting racist. Okay, so we are getting it. Okay, so that's how to collect the characters inside let's say a specific word. Okay, so we move on to the last one, asking for guesses. So that's our conclusion feature. Okay, so stay tuned. The longest here is the girlfriend word here. So that word is a 10-letter word. Okay, so that's what will be our last let's say last condition here. So here we can just simplify it by just removing this conditional statement. So instead of just writing these numbers, we can just bring this here. So let me cut this. You can just bring this to the top here. Then I will just replace this with random select. Okay, now we just remove all this. So simple. Okay, so here should be big letter here, sorry, big letter. Okay, now next will be the same for this one. So we just do, so this should come here. Okay, now just remove only one here, then here should be random select. Okay, now here should be big letter, then you want to return it. So okay, now we clear all this here. Okay, so we do the same for 7 and 8. Okay, so let's say okay, here should be 7 and 8. Okay, here let's say it should be 3. Okay, so simple. Now move on to elif. Okay, so here should be 9. So here should be 9. Then here should be 4. Then the last will be 10, sorry. So 10. So 10 here. Okay, now we just do 5. Okay, so simple. Now let's run this code and see. Okay, so Hank has no element. Let me see. So Hank is a 4-letter word. Okay, so I don't know. Is it pick letter random dots? Okay. So here should not be 0 here. Should not be 0 because it should start with 1 then end with, let's say, 2. Okay, here should also start with 1, end with 3. Okay, here should start with 1 and end with 4. Here should start with 1 and end with 5. Here should start with 1 and end with 6. Okay, so simple. Now let's run this code. Okay, so we are getting it now. So we have OEM, so 3 letters from the monster word. Move on to next one. Grave, we are getting only 1. We are getting racist. Okay, so we are getting it. Okay, so that's how to collect the characters inside let's say a specific word. Okay, so we move on to the last one, asking for guesses. So that's our conclusion feature. Okay, so stay tuned. Okay, so now we know how like to replace these letters inside the word. So we move on to accepting input. Okay, so to make this word not be lost, we just have to copy that word here. So since we are replacing here, we are losing the word, so we have to copy it here. So let's say copy word. So copy word here. Then I will say we have to import a model called copy. So just do import copy to copy that string. So then we say word dot copy, or we just do copy dot deep. Sorry, copy dot, so deep copy, and we say the word, which is word. Okay, so simple. So now we have our word intact here, so we can reuse it without like minding of the replaced word. Okay, so now we have to accept. Okay, so now what we will do is accepting the input. So in accepting the inputs, we know the number of times we have to accept the input will be the number of characters we have. So we just create a simple loop here. So for ch in class again. Okay, and we say ask is equal to input, then I will say enter guess. Okay, we are done. Now what we will do again is that we will collect the index of the dash inside we will collect the index of the first dash inside the word created. So let's say we have a word which we created like this. So let's say palace dash, you have dash, you have something like this. Okay, so we collect this first index, which is the index of the dash here. So in collecting the index of the dash, we just create a variable called sum, which is containing the 0, or we just do start, which will be at 0. So it means that when we want the index, we just do dash is equal to say where is our file word located, the dashed word. It is located inside this word, so we just do word dot index of this starting from 0. Okay, so start, so simple. Now we know that we will start from 0, so to prevent us like getting the same dash, we just increment the sum. So we just do sum plus is equal to, sorry, it should be in the for loop. So sum plus is equal to, now say 1. Sorry, this should be start. Okay, so start plus or equal to 1. So when for every loop run, we should increment by 1, so that we should skip this here. Okay, so simple. Now we will move again by, okay, so we are done with asking the input. Okay, so this is where the dash is located. Now we have to match the dash and the input. So if the ask dot lower. Maybe let's say our letter coming is a caps, we want to change it to a lowercase. Maybe when our letter coming is a dash, we want to change to a lowercase, so we just do lower. Then I will say is equal to dash, oh sorry, this should be mod copy word of what dash. Then I'll say dot lower also, and I'll say print correct, and we say else print wrong. Okay, so simple. Now let's run this code and see. So enter guess, I'll say R, wrong guess. Okay, so what we will do is we will just print the word first. So to print the word first, we just do print copy word. So simple. Now let's run this code again. Okay, so you have winner here, so that's the word here. Then we will also print the missing word, so print word. So let's run this code again. Okay, so you have expert and expert, so let's print T. Okay, so you have correct here. Okay, so simple. So now it's working now, so let's modify it a bit. We just do, okay, so something like this. Now enter guess. Okay, correct. Okay, so we are done, but we want to continue. Okay, let me go again with maybe different ones. So I will type E first. Correct. I will type let's say B. Okay, wrong, and it's cut. We don't want it like that, so we usually use a while loop to continually repeat it. So we just do while true. What should we do? So while, let me move it. Okay, here should come inside. So while true, if this, then we should break. Then okay, so let's go again. So I will print A here, and I will say R. Okay, so enter guess. So we still enter here, so let me try again with I. Okay, still enter. Let me try K. Okay, so K didn't work. Let me see. Cake. Okay, so K didn't work. T. Okay, so all didn't work. So let me run this again. I don't know why it didn't work, so let's go again. So we have B, wrong guess. Let's try it with R, correct. Then go G, wrong. Let's try it with V, wrong. Oh, damn. So let's see why this is happening. So we are replacing, say, if as is equal to copy word dash dot lower, print correct. Okay, so this start, so start black is equal to 1 here, print wrong. Okay, so I think the problem is still getting the dash here. So what we will do next is that after getting a correct one, we just replace it. So we will just do mod of word is equal to mod word or word. Let me do it word instead. So let's say word is equal to word dot replace. Okay, so we place the dash first. So sorry, So replace this dash with the guessed letter, and we should be only once. Okay, so let's go again. Okay, so you have hero. So let me try and type U. Wrong guess. So E. Okay, correct. So let's go again. So okay, I want more characters missing. So let's go again. Okay, so you have two characters missing. So A, then I'll type B. Okay, so now I'll type let me see, L. Okay, so it's correct now. So it's working now. So now we know how to just get the correct one. So let me return and here. So return, it should be return correct. Okay, so let me still do print here. So print. Okay, so now we have a way to guess these letters. So what we'll do next is just arrange our code in a very nice way. So we just do, okay, so we are printing this here. So we just do a while loop here, so that it will continue repeating words after it has completed running. So we just do true, and I'll say obj is equal to this, and tap this. So I will move this print here. Okay, now let's go and see. So we have, so first is D. Okay, correct. Second is darling. So here should be, let me do it R. Okay, wrong. So it's right. Then we go L. Okay, now we go I. Go N. Okay, so now you can see we have another set of words here, so which is honey. So here I will just print something like a new space here. So print new space here. So let's go again to separate it from the rest. So do it N. Okay, so you can see it has been separated. So this is a nice game. Okay, so it's a nice game to play. So guessing the missing letters using Python is working very nicely. So you just go T, wrong guess, just go E. Okay, so this is the end of this video. We have actually created a program to guess the missing words inside our program, the missing letters inside our program, and we have looked at how to print it out in a very nice way. Okay, so thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel. So this is the end of the road of the project and the advanced Python programming. Okay, so we move on to regular expressions, where we will look at how to use the RE model in Python. Okay, so thank you for watching. See you in the next video.